Oh my God. Holy crap, it's actually happening. Sean McDermott just got fired by the Bills. I apologize if there's like ketchup on my face. I was literally eating breakfast, and my dad comes up to me and he's like, "Did you hear the Bills just fired McDermott?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Really?" Listen, I've talked about it a lot on the show, but for some reason, I just didn't expect it. For some reason, after that Denver loss, I was like, well, we got McDermott for another year, I guess. But the Bills finally make the move. And I don't necessarily blame this particular playoff performance, this loss to Denver on McDermott. It's on the players at the end of the day. And the only point where our defense really struggled is when we had guys in and out of the lineup due to injury. And what's McDermott going to do? There were busted assignments. There were guys who just did not play well when they were subbed into the lineup. That's not on McDermott. But this was a move that reflected the last almost decade of head coaching for McDermott. Welcome back, JV Show. We're talking the McDermott firing. My Buffalo Bills now need a new head coach. And guess what? Because people will say, oh, Josh Allen got McDermott fired, this and that. The reality is, the NFL is a results-based league. And if you're not giving the fan base and the franchise the results that they want with a top 5 quarterback year after year to continue disappointing in the playoffs, eventually somebody's going to get fired. And we all knew that wasn't going to be Josh Allen. We knew Josh Allen was secure. We're not moving on from him. So then it falls on the head coach and the GM. So this loss to Denver isn't necessarily on McDermott. Ironically, I thought our defense played some of their best playoff football I've seen under McDermott during this playoff run. But this is what happens when you go pretty much a decade with elite quarterback play and you continue to fall short in the playoffs. And your defense historically continues to fall apart when it matters most. Something's got to change. Look, we saw John Harbaugh get fired. Mike Tomlin left under his own power. We saw Belichick a few years ago. Patriots move on from him. McDermott's like bottom of the barrel compared to those guys. So if they're getting moved on from, of course you got to make the move with McDermott. And it boils down to exactly what I said. It is a results-based league. Bills fans are tired of seeing the same crap year after year. And part of that was on McDermott. The other part of that is our GM. This move is not complete unless we also fire Brandon Beane. Because as bad as McDermott has been at points, you also can't blame him when our personnel doesn't really change year after year. Because Brandon Beane is way too conservative, way too scared to give up draft picks. He doesn't really draft particularly well. And for years, we've been asking to address the issues on this roster, but they're never fixed. We don't make the move at the trade deadline. We don't go out and make the splash move in free agency. Look at what the Packers did this year. They went out, got Micah Parsons. Yes, they lost in the wild card, but that was primarily due to injury. They went out and they were like, hey, we have the team. We're going to go balls to the wall. We're going to sell out and try to win a Super Bowl. Colts did the same with Sauce Gardner. I respect that a lot more than a GM that doesn't do anything and just hopes for the best. Sean McDermott had a lot of success record-wise with the Bills, but his job was saved 4 years by Josh Allen, and that's just the reality. So yes, Josh Allen had a bad playoff performance. Yes, Josh Allen turned the game away against the Broncos, and maybe that led to this firing. Maybe that got McDermott fired. But big picture, this has been going on for almost a decade, and every Bills fan knows the pain of watching them year after year. Gut-wrenching, heart ripped out to see the same product of football in the playoffs, and for us to fall just 3 points short every single season. This was a move that needed to happen. Sometimes you just need a change of scenery. And we're always going to be good. As long as Josh Allen is our quarterback, we are always going to be a legit team. And I think the fan base, the front office, rightfully so, just got sick and tired of seeing the same divisional knockout, the same AFC Conference Championship knockout. They want to see something better. Now, hey, if we're the Carolina Panthers this year and we make it this far, if we're the Miami Dolphins, we make it this far, holy crap, we're popping champagne for sure. But understand, we're at the point with Josh Allen where anything besides a Super Bowl is just a complete failure. And when I'm watching the Denver Broncos beat us in the divisional round on our easiest path to the playoffs, somebody was going to get fired. Somebody. The NFL is a cutthroat business. It does not give a shit about anybody. Now, Josh Allen, he's got one of the most secure jobs in the sport. It's going to take a whole lot more than a bad playoff performance for us to move on from him. And by no means am I suggesting that whatsoever. Josh Allen's our guy. I completely believe in the guy. He's going to win a Super Bowl one day. But you feel the pressure on you after losing again in the playoffs to say we need a change. We cannot go 0-4 against the Chiefs and then lose when they're not in the playoffs to the Denver Broncos in a game that we should have won. And don't forget, McDermott's defenses in the playoffs have not been good. They've allowed well over 30 points per game in their playoff losses. And that falls on McDermott. And people said, get a real DC. It's listen, this clearly wasn't working. The results clearly were not there. And unfortunately, those are just the facts. And the facts don't care about the feelings of anybody. Now, sure, we could have waited another decade to see what McDermott could do with Allen. But again, another reality of the NFL is teams that wait and they buy into the emotion and the relationship aspect of the sport usually fall behind. You got to make the right decisions at the right time. And you can't let head coaches linger around for a few years too long and waste more years off your star quarterback's life. That's just it. That's just the reality. Hey, next year, we go to the playoffs, Josh Allen sells the bag again, that's fine. But I don't think, and this is where I think the headspace of the front office is right now, I don't think they can handle going to another playoffs and lose with McDermott and saying what if we had a different head coach? What if we had a different guy leading this team? You know what I mean? What if? Because we know Josh Allen is talented enough to do it. So we need to change the scenery. And that's why you move on from McDermott. McDermott will find a head coaching position elsewhere. I think there are 10 openings as of right now in the NFL. He will find a spot and he will succeed. He's a good head coach. He helped this franchise out enormously. He did great things for us. But again, at some point, every head coach hits their peak and they max out. And it's hard for me to believe that we can go any further with McDermott and that coaching staff. You kind of got to move on. I don't know the future of Joe Brady. I thought he called some really good playoff games with the weapons that we had, with receivers in and out of the lineup and losing Shavers and Palmer and everybody else. I thought he was fine. But again, this is a head coach and GM package. You cannot just cut McDermott out the picture and pray that the next head coach can do something different with the same GM who has not made good decisions for us for years. Ever since Diggs left, we've been asking for a star receiver. We have not got it. You go out, you draft Keon Coleman, who as of this point today has been a complete bust for us. We're still waiting for that star defensively, that peak elite edge rusher. We go out and get Joey Bosa. That's fine, veteran, but that's not a needle mover. We were looking for needle movers this year. We were looking for a guy that can come in and make a difference, and that's on the GM ultimately. That's not on McDermott. So as much as I think, hey, this was time. It was time to move on from McDermott. Harbs went, Tomlin went, McDermott went. It's like a package deal for all those three. They've been around for a while. And listen, Harbaugh, Tomlin, they were more successful than McDermott because they won Super Bowls. So it's like, yeah, McDermott had to go. But again, it's also on Brandon Beane equally. This is a 50-50 split. Not specifically this playoff loss against the Broncos. When you look at their entire tenure with the Bills, it's on both of them. So those are my thoughts. Whether or not you liked McDermott, the reality is it's a results-based league. And when you don't give the fan base what it wants, especially considering we have Josh Allen in the prime of his career, you're going to make an impulsive decision. Because you want to win a Super Bowl, and you can't let this window pass. Finally, I feel like this is a big step for us. Finally, our organization said, you know what, we're done with this shit. We're done putting up with it. We're moving on. Whether or not the grass is greener on the other side, we're going to take a chance. Because we understand the state, the situation. We understand we got Josh Allen right now. We understand we have to capitalize. James Cook played phenomenal football this year. Our offense was solid. Our defense is still growing. We need to make a push now. And that's why he was fired.